Go for it.
All right, we'll get started then. I call to order the meeting of the Brookings City Council for June 22nd, 2026 at 5:43 p.m. If everyone who's able would rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will you please call the roll?
Councilor Malmberg.
Here.
Councilor Gelada.
Here.
Councilor Martin.
Here.
Councilor Fulton. Mayor Freda.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We'll move on to oral requests and communications from the audience. Thank you all for being so patient with us this evening. And I just have a quick public comment notification that I'll read, and then we'll begin calling in the order that I have them received here. This is a time for public comment if you have turned in the public comment form to the city recorder. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. This is not a time for discussion. Council is not able to provide immediate answers or response. The city manager may direct staff to follow up with you regarding your comment or questions if provided with contact information on the form. Before you make your comment, please state your name and your address for the record. So we will begin with Val Early in regards to the poll report.
Val Early, Southwest Community Aquatics, P.O. Box 1800, Brookings, Oregon. So, good evening. I wanted to come and give the council a brief update on how the Brookings pool opening has been going this season. So overall, things have been really positive. The pool opened on May 5th, and we've been working through some of the early weeks with a mix of exciting changes and also a few expected growing pains that come with the new season always. On the facility side, if you have driven by the pool, you have seen that the pool buildings have received a fresh coat of paint, and it's made a noticeable difference. All of our patrons have been commenting about it and how nice it is. We were able to preserve some of those artistic murals that were on our buildings as the painter taped them off and painted around them. So he was very accommodating. The only thing we're still waiting for in the facility are the door upgrades. So the schedule has been evolving throughout the season, and of course it evolves just based on programming requirements, staff availability, facility requirements, whatever is needed. And so it's allowed us some flexibility to serve the community through some early adjustments. On the swimming lessons front, we launched a new online registration portal this year, and that's been a significant shift for our community. Very, very well received. People are able to get on there and sign up without having to come to the pool, which has made a big difference for working parents. And as with any new system, though, of course, there's a few glitches that the staff and the patrons have been working through, but overall, it's been very well received. And the lessons are now being released on a monthly basis, and the in-person registration at the pool still is available if people would like it. We did shorten our public group lessons to 1 week versus the 2 weeks, and people have really appreciated that for vacation scheduling. Private lessons are continuing to fill up very quickly, which speaks to the strong community interest. Attendance overall has remained consistent with the previous seasons, which we're really happy about. The income is slightly down, but that's primarily due to a temporary shortage of instructors during a couple of lesson sessions around graduation time. A lot of our staff were graduates this year, and so they had commitments that took them away. It was a short-term type of a gap, and we fully anticipated it. So on the staffing side, we also have 5 licensed lifeguard instructor trainers now, and that allows us to continuously grow our staff. The pool manager, Bill Morris, he's implemented also a lead guard program that makes sure that there is a designated lead guard on every shift to ensure accountability and facility maintenance, those kinds of things. Improves the safety and the day-to-day operations. So I'm also pleased to share some exciting news on our grants front. So South Coast Community Aquatics was awarded some programming grants by Advanced Health and also from Wild Rivers Community Foundation. And these help to support our current programs and scholarships that we have available for the community, including our free swim and free family swim on Saturdays. So all day Saturday just about is free for any patron that wants to come and participate. And then recently we learned that the Three Rivers Foundation approved a facility grant for us to improve the locker rooms. And so we will be working with Tony and getting that stood up too very soon. And so before I close, I just want to express our sincere appreciation to the City Council and all of your support of South Coast Community Aquatics. And it means a great deal to our organization and to the collaborative effort between us. And I also want to give a special thank you to the Public Works Department, and especially Tony. We've been working through a few issues with the heater and with some other things, and he's always been very responsive. And he's helped us solve a few of those issues. Anyway, and I'd like to also give a shout out to Brooklyn and Delori for keeping all of our information updated on the website all the time. The manager and the assistant manager have been really good about communicating and sending those updates on a regular basis. So we're looking forward to a strong summer. I probably will come back in a few months and give you another report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for the report.
Okay, moving on, we have Jonathan Williams. And it looks like this is in regards to 300 Marina Drive.
My name is Jonathan Williams. I live at 16720 Marine Drive, and I appreciate you guys' time in hearing me tonight. For the past year, I've been living next door to 300 Marine Drive, and the mess has grown exponentially. You'll hear more from my mother-in-law in more detail, but he has many people living in outbuildings and campers on the property. There's about approximately 14 dogs. The mess is spilled out onto the roads and onto a shared driveway we have, and the smell, of course, from the dogs has gotten extremely oppressive. I'm not sure how long he's been making, amassing this mess that he has, but it has shown no signs of movement of any, but just keeps getting added, and more buildings and more outbuildings, and one of the drawbacks is I have a constant rat problem where we're fighting rats trying to get into our house, spilling over from his house, and to get to this point where we're here taking your guys' time and involving you in it, has been a journey. For over a year, I've tried to be nice to him, be friend to him, encourage him to clean his mess up, or at least just keep it on his side, on his property. It's spilling over, and he's very belligerent and completely unreasonable when it comes to us trying to talk to him calmly about things, because we have a shared driveway, and he just parks. He just completely leaves it plugged up all the time, and so it's unfortunate it's came to this, but this is what it came to. I'm just going to be really brief because I know that somebody else is going to talk on the same matter, and thank you for your time, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So next we have Monica Williams. Did you want to?
No.
That covers it. Okay.
3 people is too much.
Okay.
Maybe.
Then we have Barbara and Rudy Tanner? Tanter.
Yeah, very good. Okay. That's it.
Okay, I've provided photos. If you can refer to those. My name's Barbara Tangier, by the way, and I own the property at 16720 Marine Drive, next to 300 Marine Drive, which is where the problem is. You looking at them now? Are you impressed? Anyway, it's an ongoing problem. It's been this way for several years now, and I'd really like to resolve it. There have been previous abatements, but they don't seem to have done much good. My husband Rudy and I have spoken with Mr. Corrigan and on multiple occasions. Although Mr. Corrigan frequently states his intent to clean the property, no progress has been made, as Jonathan pointed out. I've also contacted Tony Barron. I just found out this evening that he has served another notice of abatement. I hope this one fixes the problem, but seeing what I have in the past, I'm skeptical. So we believe that the property constitutes a significant safety and health hazard. The accumulation of debris occasionally spreads onto our property and onto the road. Vehicles frequently block the fire access. That's what that one picture with the trailer in it is all about. It isn't there now, but I can't tell you it won't be there tomorrow. And on at least one occasion, the road was completely inaccessible to the garbage truck. Furthermore, the property's unsanitary. We have cited rats. There's a noticeable smell of animal waste, and the debris provides breeding ground for rodents. Additionally, dogs from Mr. Corrigan's property frequently enter my daughter's yard and agitate her dog, who's on a run. Based on the provided photos and our observations, I find it difficult to believe this property meets acceptable standards. If it is indeed in compliance, it suggests that the City of Brookings codes require urgent revision. Thank you very much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I appreciate any help you can provide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last we have Michael Frederick in regards to TLT money.
My name is Michael Frederick, 16883 Yellow Brick Road, Brookings. I just really want to commend and thank the council, city managers, staff for re-looking at the situation with the TLT money and the funding of the Wild Rivers Film Festival and making the decision to go ahead and help them out. I hope that's the first of many going that way, but I think it was the right thing, and I'm super happy that you guys did. Thank you. Oh, and the form also, modifying the form and making it so that people actually know that they can do that. Thanks.
Thank you. That was it?
Yes.
We'll move on to item E, consent calendar. Are there any comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
Call the question?
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Tawada.
Yes.
Counselor Mullins.
Yes.
Mayor Freda.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Moving on to item F1, resignation of Counselor Christy Fulton and filling vacant council position. Are we going to have a staff report, or should we just go ahead and move on through? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of Counselor Fulton?
I move that we accept the resignation of Counselor Fulton and declare the council position number 4 vacant.
And I second.
Call the question?
Counselor Tawada.
Yes.
Counselor Mullins.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Mayor Rita.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Counselor Fulton's resignation is accepted, and the council position is now vacant. The application period was open from May 4th through June 15th. We have 3 applicants here tonight, and we will now hold interviews to fill that position. For anybody who looked ahead of time in the packet, we had 4, 1 withdrew at the last moment, just so the public's aware of why we're now saying 3 when there were 4 in the packet. There was a random drawing of the applicants to determine the interview order, and the applicants will be brought into chambers one by one. Each applicant will be asked 9 questions of them, and they will be given 2 minutes to answer each question.
The first interview has been placed
Okay.
to make it over, so they will be here shortly. I'm going to use that time to get this situated. Better? Oh, it's weird.
All other questions? Go back there. Thank you. You can have my notes. In bold red lettering.
You like it?
Yep. I like clear directions. It's good.
Welcome.
Thank you. I want to thank the council for the opportunity to apply and interview for the vacant position.
Well, we're grateful for your application, and we will begin. We'll each take turns asking questions, and as you've already been informed, you'll have 2 minutes to respond to each one. I will begin, and then we'll make our rounds through. What do you believe the role of the City Council is in the community?
To listen to the residents and the businesses and respond to challenges and help the city grow in a positive way for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'll get caught up here. Okay. Next question. How would you encourage more citizen involvement?
I think you need to let the citizens of the town know that there's a stake in city government for them. Because we're a small town, single individuals can have a big impact on what goes on here. And I would think it's fairly easy to convince people that one person or a small group of people can get things done in this town, or at least start to get things done.
Thank you.
Based on what you know about city government, what do you see as top priorities for the city and why?
I don't know that much about city government, so I think initially I would spend my time listening to the mayor and the council members and other city employees and find out what is possible and what the challenges are. But I think that my 2 main points are tourism and housing, lack of affordable housing. Those are the 2 things that I feel most strongly about. Tourism is the kind of thing that can help everybody in the town. I realize that there are a lot of retired residents in this town who don't necessarily care if the town is crowded on any particular given weekend. However, when we bring people into the town to spend money in our town, the businesses that grow are a benefit to everyone. We get more restaurants, we get better restaurants, we get better places to stay. It improves the town all around when the business people do better. And as far as housing goes, I've personally witnessed situations where people couldn't take a job here because they couldn't find a place to live. I know of individuals who were actually offered jobs here who came to look for housing and then had to decline the jobs that they were offered because they couldn't find affordable housing or the type of house that they wanted to buy. So I think from the bottom level, the most affordable rentals in town, all the way to the top, we all know that we have a little bit of a housing problem here. And that's been on my mind for a very long time and motivated me to want to join city government.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's Noggle.
Noggle, okay.
Thank you. Please name three qualities a council member should have.
Be a good listener. I think that's by far the most important thing. Again, we have lots of stakeholders in this town. We have business owners, we have wealthy retirees, we have not so wealthy retirees, we have people who work 2-3 jobs just to get by with their families in this town. So I think you need to be able to hear all those points of view. They all have a stake, and a lot of them are going to stay here forever. So the second one would be to be fair. Those groups that I mentioned, no one of them is more important than others. They all have a stake in the success of this city. So I think it's important that we be fair to all. And thirdly, I would say ask for help. Ask for help from citizens, ask for help. I know that's similar to listening, but ask for help from business owners. And particularly for myself, that would be asking for help from the mayor and the sitting councilors.
What role do you see the city playing in promoting business and tourism in our community?
I think that the city can bring the businesses together or help bring many of them together to unify our vision for the events that occur in the town that bring people in. So reaching out to the businesses, meeting with businesses as a group, finding out what their needs are, and then telling them what you think would help the city and bring more business into the town, and also increase their business during the tourist seasons.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next question. How do you think we can best preserve the character of our community while allowing for moderate growth?
Well, I think the natural beauty is the thing that we all appreciate most. So I think that's paramount. Obviously, rapid growth and tremendous growth is not something that hardly anybody is looking for in this town. I think that we came here, some of us came here to get away from that. Some of us came here because we like, the natural beauty and that is unchanged. I think that it's important to balance, as you said, moderate growth with things that will improve everybody's lives in the town.
Thank you.
Okay, this is a long one. Serving on city council requires learning about governance, the community, and city operations. Often, councilors must make decisions in areas outside their own expertise. Can you describe a time when you were faced with making an important decision in an area where you had limited knowledge? How did you approach the decision? What was the outcome? What did you learn?
Ask for advice. I have run into this many times in my life. Most of the jobs that I took and became successful at, I was the ignorant one when I walked into it. In order to become more experienced and successful at it, I went straight to the people who had already become successes in those areas and asked them, what would you do? How did you do this? I don't think there's any shame in asking for as much advice as you can. It's more damaging to pretend you know the answers when you don't.
City councilors must represent the interests of the entire community while working with people who may hold different viewpoints. Describe a time when your personal preference differed from what was best for the larger group or organization. How did you handle the situation and what was the outcome?
I think in every organization I've been a part of, the organization is most important. I mean, you're not being successful in an organization if you're constantly trying to push your own agenda. So in particular with the city, in the city's case, and as far as city council goes, number one is what will make us all more successful, what is right for the city, what is right for the city. And as you said, sometimes you get pulled in other directions by particular groups or individuals in town. And at the end of the day, you have to remember the city, the success of the city is what's most important, and all of its residents and businesses.
Thank you.
This appointment will be expiring at the end of the year, and the position will be on the November ballot. If selected for this council seat tonight, do you intend to file as a candidate for the position, or do you view this appointment as service only until election?
Neither. I haven't made up my mind on that yet. I'd like to learn about what it would be like to be a council member before I would make that decision. That's going to entail asking a lot of questions and learning a lot by speaking to all of you. So I'm definitely considering it. So I guess I can answer part of your question in that, no, I don't immediately see this as a temporary appointment and then walk away.
Thank you very much for your honesty. Okay, you're free to join the audience if you would like while we continue on with the rest of the interviews, or if you don't wish to, then you can go ahead and leave as well. But we will have to have all the candidates available for the end of the selection. When one is selected, they'll be sworn in immediately.
Great. Thank you, Council, for
Thank
your
you.
time, and Mayor Pareda, thank you.
Thank you.
The next person is Jeremy Turner. And then Tony Long will be the office person. I see it coming.
So close.
She's telling everyone to wait in the hallway.
Oh.
Did you hear that, Brooklyn?
Yeah, I told her not to, but
Okay.
she Didn't see the text.
Hello.
Evening, Jim. So we will each take turn asking you a couple of different questions, and I believe you've already been informed you have 2 minutes on each question to answer. I'll start. What do you believe is the role of the city council in our community?
Well, you're supposed to govern the city, make sure that everybody should abide by the laws. You make sure you try to bring development into the city. You try to do planning for future developments. You need to work on, well, you try to work on housing, workforce housing, fill the needs of the community, make sure that everything runs smoothly, raise money, spend it frugally, look for future projects which could bring in more development or more funds for different projects. Guide over the different departments in the city. Get their assistance wherever you need input for what's going on. And be responsible individuals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next question. How would you encourage more citizen involvement?
That's a tough question. Because we're in an age of people that don't care. They care, but they don't want to get involved. They want to let somebody else do the hard work. They want to sit on the back and listen to or complain about what's going on. They don't want to be involved in making part of the change, getting involved. I thought it was time to get involved. For being here 5 years, I'm normally involved in my communities one way or the other. So it's time to try and help.
Thank you.
Based on what you know about city government, what do you see as top priorities for the city and why?
Top priority?
Top priorities.
Workforce housing. We can't get enough employees. Look at the mill. They can't keep employees because people can't find a place to live. That's our biggest problem. And affordable workforce housing, because people that have homes don't want to move because they can't afford to move on. The ones that are being built are too expensive for people coming in here trying to find a job and stay here. We need more townhomes, condominiums, apartments, give people a place to live while they're working so they can better themselves and our community.
Thank you.
Thanks for applying and thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, sir.
Please name 3 qualities that a council member should have.
Number one, they have to be honest. And they have to be responsible. And they have to be nonpartisan. They have to be able to look at both sides of the issue, take input, and make a responsible decision. You have to try to keep your personal feelings out of it, even though you may feel strongly about something.
Thank you.
What role do you see the city playing in promoting business and tourism promotion in our community?
It's a tough question. We need to we're the best kept secret on the coast. When the weather's hot, people come over here from the valley because they want to be cool. We don't have a lot of, we have a lot of restaurants. We could use some more, less fast food, more dining, more entertainment opportunities. Maybe a conference hall somewhere where we could pull in some conferences. Of course, then you have to worry about housing the people that come in to do that. We need to spruce up some of the existing businesses. Main Street, we need to clean up some of Main Street. You have a big empty lot there where the South Coast Appliance is. We could put something there, we could clean it up. It's a used car lot now. Just needs to be made, the city needs to be made attractive. People need to want to come here, to vacation here.
Thank you.
All right, next question. How do you think we can best preserve the character of our community while allowing for moderate growth?
You're going to have to limit some of the things that want to come in here if they don't fit with the plan. You can't bring in a big hotel that's going to tear down existing buildings or businesses. You need to have a plan and work on it and keep it current with what's going on in the community. Other than that, that's a tough question.
Thank you.
Serving on the city council requires learning about governance, the community, and city operations. Often, councilors must make decisions in areas outside their expertise. Can you describe a time when you were faced with making an important decision in an area where you had limited knowledge? How did you approach the decision? What was the outcome? What did you learn?
When I was a Gardena Chamber of Commerce president, one of the things that I did specifically was sit in on every committee meeting. So I had the pulse of what was going on. They could tell me what they were planning, and I could also tell them what the Chamber of Commerce was doing and how they could help them. You've got so many resources today for research, the internet. You've got your staff where you can draw on their expertise. They're in the trenches every day doing their job. You've got people you can talk to. There's just so many different ways to get information nowadays, to be able to bring yourself up to speed so you can make an intelligent decision.
Thank you.
City councilors must represent the interests of the entire community while working with people who may hold different viewpoints. Describe a time when your personal preference differed from what was best for a larger group or organization. How did you handle the situation and what was the outcome?
Say that one more time.
City councilors must represent the interests of the entire community while working with people who may hold different viewpoints. Describe the time when your personal preference differed from what was best for a larger group or organization. How did you handle the situation and what was the outcome?
There's a lot of times my personal preference differs, but a lot of times you have to put it aside. When I was in the Navy, I spent a lot of time underneath the water. And there's just a lot of times when I wasn't happy with what was going on, but because I was a supervisor, a sonar supervisor, I was pretty much the eyes of the ship. I had to put my personal preferences down, bite the bullet, and do what was told of me.
Thank you.
Okay, this will be the last question. This appointment will expire at the end of the year, and the position will be on the November ballot. If selected for this council seat tonight, do you intend to file as a candidate for the position, or do you view this appointment as service only until the election?
I've been giving that a lot of thought. And I've been told that I have to file the paperwork by August 15th?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Okay. So my original plan was to try it out if I got appointed, to see if I liked it. I'd have maybe a month or so when I could figure it out and do it. But I don't like to quit on anything. So if I do get appointed, I really do, I haven't told my wife yet, but I really do plan on entering the election.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tony is just asking.
Ladies and gentlemen, deja vu.
Of the jury?
Deja vu all again, all over again.
Anthony Bond, 1218 Easy Street.
Good evening, Anthony. Thank you for your application. We will each take turns. You've been through this before, asking questions, and you'll have 2 minutes to respond. I will begin. What do you believe is the role of the city council in our community?
First of all, a city council member is an advocate for their constituents, first and foremost. That's the constituents' access to the council for the decisions around, well, within the city at least. As well as that councilman has to be working with the other 4 members of the council in order to make the decisions that matter in the city. So the councilman is the advocate between those two specific bodies.
Thank you.
Okay, next question. How will you encourage more citizen involvement?
The same way I always have, which is I go out and I talk to people daily. Since I'm retired and I have a business here, and I also volunteer up at the cemetery. I'm, yes, the undertaker, one of them. Very strange job title for a retiree, but anyway. I interact with just about everybody in this town in one form or another, either through the construction or through the trucking and like that. So I have a pretty good feel around the town. I'm also a member on the planning commission, so I hear a lot of that as well.
Thank you.
Based on what you know about city government, what do you see as the top priorities for the city and why?
Tourism, downtown revitalization for sure, but that kind of relates into the tourism. And further supporting what industries we do have. More specifically, the logging, the lumber mill, obviously, the local businesses, which not just my own, but I also have some involvement with a couple of the shops that are depending on tourism around this town. Of course, obviously, like I said, the Fred Meyers, you also have interactions with the power companies and their yards, their fleets that they've got out here, and actually within the city itself, because there's enough interaction there to go for a mile. But basically, yeah, supporting the local businesses and trying to get things done that way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for applying and thanks for coming tonight. Please name 3 qualities a council member should have.
integrity. With the integrity goes honesty, because there's a lot of issues that we've had with that, and not specifically with this council, but with previous ones. Public interaction would have to be high on the priority list. Again, doesn't seem to be much of an issue with this particular council, but we've had problems with that in the past. And the accountability, again, probably the most major one that I can say.
Thank you.
What role do you see the city playing in promoting businesses and tourism promotion in our community?
That one kind of goes along with the Planning Commission. I really want to see downtown being revitalized, shall we say. And I have my own ideas in regards to that. Some of this has been put forward. A lot of the businesses, specifically the building owners, either are not aware or are not participating in obtaining some of the funds to do some of the revitalization downtown. We have building fronts that are, for lack of a better term, 50 years old and could be updated. We have a lot of vacancies downtown that, need to be filled. We need to encourage some businesses to step up. And honestly, the city needs to be a little bit more interactive with those building owners specifically. And I'm only referring to the two that I know of that have not been, shall we say, forthcoming with being able to get money or being able to put their own investments into their building with the city's assistance in order to bring it up to what I consider to be an appropriate standard for tourism.
All right. Next question. How do you think we can best preserve the character of our community while allowing for moderate growth?
Kind of a different question, but how do I put this? The community's character is what it is. It hasn't really changed. I've been here 15 years since I've moved up here. And the character of the town hasn't changed, even though the times have, even all the way through COVID. That doesn't necessarily mean that it has to change, obviously. But I kind of like the way it is, if you understand what I'm saying. And I don't really feel that there's anything that the city council can necessarily do that's going to destroy it or can do that it's going to change it in a different direction. It's just not really something that the people are going to allow.
Thank you.
Serving on the city council requires learning about governance, the community, and city operations. Often, councilors must make decisions in areas outside their expertise. Can you describe a time when you were faced with making an important decision in an area where you had limited knowledge? How did you approach the decision? What was the outcome? What did you learn?
I started a towing company after working in the towing industry for like 5 years because I thought I knew everything. That was an eye-opener. Honestly, learning about management, learning about supervision, because those are actually two completely separate different things. And just learning different things that I wouldn't normally associate myself with doing. For example, the other day I spent the better part of 4 days, I should say last week, I spent the better part of 4 days weed eating the cemetery. And keep in mind that we pay an individual to landscape up there, and he's always said that it was a difficult job. Got to do the job yourself in order to figure it out. And with anything that I've had to approach in that manner, I've learned through management, you never have somebody do a job you won't do yourself. So you better go learn it.
City councilors must represent the interests of the entire community while working with people who may hold different viewpoints. Describe a time when your personal preference differed from what was best for a larger group or organization. How did you handle the situation and what was the outcome?
The biggest one is essentially a political leaning. As some of you know, I have huge issues with what was the homeless population in this town because of where my house is. It's just natural. Dollar General's there, and I have homeless people coming across my property all the time. Anyway, there are organizations around here that hold the, what do they call that? It's basically they feed the homeless at their churches. I have a huge issue with when St. Timothy was doing that, but that's beside the point, and that was years ago. But the Lutheran church is directly behind me, and we actually learned to agree to disagree, shall we say? And I've never opposed their doing that service, even though they understand I don't necessarily want them doing that service in my backyard. But they actually worked with me, and I worked with them, in keeping the homeless from going across my property, behind my property or anything, using the sidewalks. Hey, when the service is over, leave the area, don't sit here and hang out on my property. I was having an issue with that for quite a while. And that was, that's one of the things. They hold different views than I do on what they're doing, and hey, we worked it out.
Thank you.
This appointment will expire at the end of the year, and the position will be on the November ballot. If selected for this council seat tonight, do you currently intend to file as a candidate for the position, or do you view this appointment as service only until the election?
No, I've already submitted my application for the election.
Thank you very much. That was the last question.
Thank you.
Well, so I suppose we'll move into discussions and deliberations. Do you guys want to take a break, continue on?
I say continue on.
Yeah, I'm good.
And I'll just start by saying I think how fortunate we are that we've had three excellent individuals who are obviously care very much about their community and are willing to step up and volunteer. It just makes me proud to be a member of this community, a member of the council, and I really greatly appreciate all of them.
Thank you.
Nope, I echo those comments. Thank you very much for applying. If it doesn't work out tonight, I encourage you to continue to look for other ways to help our community.
I too, it's a pleasant dilemma that we have. We have four strong candidates that applied for this. So I appreciate each of you coming here tonight. I appreciate your vision for the community and your willingness to be involved. I think we have three people who could step into this position and would do a great job. One of the things that when we look at the three candidates who talked with us tonight, again, I think all three would do a great job. I think it is important to consider the length of time that somebody's been in the community, the history of a lot of the issues that we faced before and can face again, and also prior involvement in city government. On previous appointments, I've favored people who have served on the Planning Commission, the Budget Committee, the Parks and Recreation Commission. And so I think those are important things to consider in looking at the applicants as well.
Does anybody have any specific thoughts that they would like to share on their choice of candidates?
I tend to, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I was looking for some key words and key attitudes in these common questions. I think they're all great candidates. I think they would all do fine. My preference would be towards Robert Noggle. However, I think Anthony Bond would be a great candidate too.
Yeah, I appreciate those sentiments, and I tend to agree also very much with what Councilor Martin said. I think both Jim and Robert would do an excellent job, but I know that Tony has spent a significant amount of time on the Planning Commission. He's also actively pursued previous appointments to the council, and he's already applied for the vacancy. So I know he's serious about the position, and I would lean more toward Tony Bond as my vote.
Councilor Martin?
Again, I encourage all three people who came tonight to file for the election. We'll have multiple seats up, and I think the voters. I think each of you can make a good case to the voters, and I like what each candidate said specifically about promoting business development, promoting businesses, promoting tourism, and as you know, those are important issues that I've pushed. But if you're ready for a motion, are you gonna wait for it? Do you want to say anything else, or?
No, I mean, if you're ready to make a motion, then feel free.
I move we appoint Anthony Bond to council position number 4.
I'll second.
Call the question?
Counselor Gelada,
Yes.
Counselor Mulder,
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Mayor Freda.
Yes.
The motion carries.
I am very appreciative for all of our candidates here today. I didn't state my thoughts or my preference because there was clearly very common ground up here already, and I think it's important that we support one another. But I will say, Robert, you had some real keywords, like Mr. Gelada said, that I was listening for, and I loved how you talked so much about being a good listener and being here for an advocate to the community. I heard that as well from you, Jim, the advocate to the community. One thing I appreciated about you was that you were not at all afraid to say that you do not know what this role looks like, but that you're willing to learn. And I can tell you that that is the case for every one of us up here. We stepped into this role knowing nothing, and have learned by a fire hose of information over the last few years. So I very much appreciate you being quite candid with those responses. And I hope, as has already been said, that all of you will continue to find ways to serve your community, or as Councilor Martin suggested, even apply for positions in the upcoming election. So thank you very much for your time. And now that we have a motion and a new councilor selected, then we will have our swearing in.
You ready? Okay. You have to be in the microphone.
No, okay.
Okay. I, Anthony Bond, do solemnly swear
I, Anthony Bond, do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States
to support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
and the charter and municipal code of the city of Brookings,
and the charter and municipal code of the city of Brookings,
to bear the same
to bear the same
in true faith and allegiance,
with true faith and allegiance,
and defend them against all enemies whatsoever,
and defend them against all enemies whatsoever,
and to faithfully and impartially
and to faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of city councillor
discharge the duties of city councilor
of the city of Brookings,
of the city of Brookings,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Okay? I kept it on the whole time.
I knew you were gonna say that. That time already? Oh, yeah, I got it coming, that's okay. Congratulations. Thanks.
Okay, moving on to the next order of business. It's item F2, increase appropriations for insurance proceeds for the fiscal year 25-26.
Mayor, councilors,
We do this every year at the end of the year for things that we didn't budget for. Maybe they were not, we didn't have enough information, not anticipated. So this one is to increase appropriations due to grants and donations for fiscal year 25-26. Recommended to adopt the resolution 26R1298, accepting specific purpose grants and donations in the general fund, capital projects reserve fund, and the special police fund. There's no net impact to the 25-26 budget. Oregon local budget law requires us to do this before June 30th for the current fiscal year. And you can see below are the details of the grants and donations that were not anticipated when the year started. And attached is the resolution.
Are there any comments or questions?
I just have one question on the trucks. Originally, that was tied to a grant with charging stations, and that's since been separated from that, correct?
They're separate, yeah. The charging station one, they actually come and they do all the work and everything on that, so, yeah.
We still have a match, we have a match requirement for that, but we anticipate that that's still a couple of years out before they actually do that work. So this is really just focusing on the trucks.
And this was the public, the ODOT charging station?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And this is the carbon reduction program through Oregon Department of Transportation.
Does anybody want to make a motion?
Can you remind us, what was that total match? It was our match?
Total match for the cars, for the vehicles, it was $10,000 each vehicle, roughly.
Yeah.
Charging station, I can't remember what the amount was. I know the overall grant was, I want to say in the $500,000 range.
Yeah.
But there's also a tax credit of $7,500 per vehicle that we haven't received yet, but I'm sure we will. I have filed the paperwork, and it's just a matter of hearing back from the IRS. It's an IRS tax credit.
So the delta is $2,500 per truck that the city had to pay.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Pretty amazing. I just, yeah. Say what you will about electric vehicles and charging stations, and I'm probably right there with you, but turning down a $2,500 truck, that's worth 60, 70 grand is, yeah, I'm glad we did it. That's what I'm getting at.
Big stretch of taxpayer
Yeah,
dollars.
big stretch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
I motion to adopt Resolution 26R1298, accepting specific purpose grants and donations in the general fund, capital projects reserve fund, and special police fund, and/or.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the question?
Counselor Malberg,
Yes.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Bond,
Yes.
Counselor Jalata,
Yes.
Mayor Brady.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Moving on to item F4, amendment number 1 of OWRD agreement for Fair Creek Dam.
We have one more.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. So again,
Missed that one.
this is a resolution. You have to do separate ones for grants and donations and a different one for insurance proceeds. So same thing, of course, at budget time, we don't know what kind of insurance claims we're going to have. And so at the end of the year, we bring this to you to accept those and appropriate the funds for the repairs or whatever it was that we had to pay for. So recommended to adopt Resolution 26R1299, accepting insurance proceeds in the general fund and appropriating those funds. Again, there's no net impact, and this is done because Oregon local budget law requires us to do this. In public safety, fire was the only one this year, which is pretty unusual, but that's good news. 17,810 in insurance proceeds for damages. The big one was the fire door was damaged.
Comments, questions?
I'll move to adopt Resolution 26-R-1299, accepting insurance proceeds in the general fund and appropriating those funds.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I think he got me.
Thank you.
It's a habit, so.
Call the question.
Counselor Martin,
Yes.
Counselor Bond,
Yes.
Counselor Jalata,
Yes.
Counselor Malberg,
Yes.
Mayor Brady.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, now we'll move on to F4, the amendment agreement for Fair Creek Dam permitting.
Thank you, Mayor Pareda, members of the council. Fair Creek Dam is a city-owned earthen embankment dam on Ferry Creek, a tributary of the Chetco River near Brookings. The original dam was constructed around 1913 and was later reconstructed approximately between 1945 and 1953, with additional work that continued into 1966. The dam is approximately 45 feet high, spans about 300 feet, and impounds a reservoir approximately 4 acres. The dam is no longer connected to the city's water supply system and has been designated by OWRD, Oregon Water Resources Department, as a high hazard dam in unsatisfactory condition. Prior feasibility and design work identified removal as the preferred path due to dam condition, seismic risk, fish passage impacts, and lack of continued municipal use. River Design Group completed a design and management plan in 2023 to support the technical permitting and implementation path for removal. The 2023 design and management plan estimated the eventual construction removal cost at approximately $1.54 million. However, actual costs are expected to be higher due to inflation and final project conditions at the time of construction. The city intends to pursue FEMA funding for the removal phase once permitting work is complete. If awarded, FEMA funding would likely require a local cost match, currently anticipated at approximately 25%. The city and OWRD entered into an agreement number WRD 26020 for work needed to advance the project towards permit approvals. Amendment number 1 increases the OWRD reimbursement and city match, replaces Exhibit A with a revised statement of work, and expand the deliverables needed to secure federal, state, and county permit approvals. Approval will authorize the city manager to authorize amendment number 1 and allow the permitting phase of Ferry Creek Dam removal project to proceed. I've attached the amendment, some overview documents for the removal, And with that, if you have any questions. They've stated in the financial impact too what the cost is, a breakdown of the reimbursable and what's expected in the cost. So if you have any questions.
And I had asked, and our city manager answered, but maybe for the benefit of others, of why amend a project cost that hasn't started? That's what it appears. And so is permitting expecting to be increased? Why amend a project that hasn't been started?
Yeah, we initiated the permit process in 2023, and the costs have gone up for the permitting. So the consultant's work is going to be more. And the requirements actually for the permitting increased as well over this time. So
requirements by whom? By state? By
FEMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then once the actual removal work begins, it would go out to bid in the same way that other work does?
Right. Yeah, this is just authorizing amendment to the permitting process to get through the permitting process.
Are you anticipating any more problems?
Sure. I mean, federal government, state,
Back here in 6 months, trying to do this again?
I mean, there's always a chance of it.
Okay.
And it's a good question. So because these costs were put together 3 years ago, when do you expect them to actually, this activity to begin? Is it, if 6 months from now, it probably won't be amended. If it's 3 years from now,
Yeah, we've only recently initiated the permitting work because we only received approval for the permitting work recently.
Gotcha.
So it's still, it's ramping up now.
Okay.
With this amendment, the ball will be rolling to get the permitting done.
Councilor Martin? I was really glad to see this getting moving forward. I think it's really important for us to take care of this. So I just wanted to make that comment. Any further discussions, questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move to authorize the city manager to execute amendment number 1 to the agreement WRD 26020 with the state of Oregon acting by and through the Oregon Water Resources Department for Fairy Creek Dam permitting work.
Second.
Call the question?
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Counselor Jalala.
yes.
Counselor Mulder.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Mayor Krueger.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Moving on to item F5, amendment for additional funding for Wild Rivers Film Festival.
Mayor and members of the council, as most of you remember at the June 8th council meeting, Mike Frederick, the owner of the Chetco Brewery, requested that the city of Brookings give the Wild Rivers Film Festival an additional $3,000 for advertising and marketing. No one from the film festival was present that night, and I did reach out and contacted Sue Wright, who's also here tonight, and she has indeed requested another $3,000 on top of the $2,000 that was already given out. She submitted a digital marketing plan, and we feel like this additional funding would be utilized appropriately for advertising and marketing of their event. I've attached her letter and the digital communications package. I will say it's pretty, it's really nice this day and age with the digital marketing where we all saw we had a campaign, I think it was back in March or maybe even February, promoting the city. We had several plays for minimal cost on a lot of television advertising. We also did some social media, got a very favorable response to that. And that's all I have at this point. If you have any other questions, like I said, Ms. Wright is here if you have any.
Any questions, discussion?
Is this, what's the feedback loop, I suppose, for lack of a better term, of, so is this enough to fund it and then we get receipts, or?
Yes.
Or how do you, I mean, because it's not very measurable necessarily what its success rate is, but.
Yes, that's a great question. And what we require, I mean, the purpose of this is for marketing and advertising only. And you're right, it's hard to say we had, this many impressions equaled this many new heads and beds. It's very difficult, as most of you have been in business and trying to advertise. It's very hard to measure certain things, but I do feel like the way that this one is going to be done will be probably pretty effective, because they will be hitting I believe the Rogue Valley, as well as Eureka and a few other places, the local television stations there, and I think they're working with some radio as well. So, but yes, we always require that once the bills have been paid, that we don't reimburse until we get receipts showing as such.
No, it's a great package. You get the comprehensive. So you got, if it's going to be successful, it looks like this is about the way you do it, modern day.
I'm pleased to see the city working with the private sector, with businesses and organizations in the community to utilize the tourism fund, the motel tax for tourism promotion as it's intended to be used. I'm glad that we're able to jump on this quickly and do this. And also, again, I want to see similar funding like this, where we make it easy for the community and organizations that want to have events and promote tourism, have easier access to those funds without a lot of red tape.
Councilor Bond, any comments or questions?
None at this time.
I really appreciated all of the details that were provided on the type of marketing outreach that had been done. It was clearly quite professional. So I was really grateful to see that. I think it looks like it's going to do a really good job of promoting the community and the event specifically. Any more discussions? Do we have any motions on the table?
I motion to approve amendment for additional funding for the Wild Rivers Film Festival in the amount of $3,000 through the Tourism Event Fund Assistant Program.
Is there a second? Call the question?
Counselor Gelada.
Yes.
Counselor Mulder.
Yes.
Counselor Martin.
Yes.
Counselor Bond.
Yes.
Mayor Pareda.
Yes.
The motion carries.
No more business on the table. We'll move on to G, remarks from mayor, councilors, and the city manager.
Again, just very thankful for all of those of you who have applied, and encourage you to continue to look for opportunities to serve your community. I know that there's a minimum of one opening on the Planning Commission now, and certainly there's going to be more openings in the future for City Council. I'm very impressed with the both of you, that even though you weren't selected, I'm very pleased that you applied tonight, and thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you both, and congratulations, Councilor Bond.
Also echoing what they said, thank you for coming tonight. Your responses were spot on for what I wanted to hear for people to serve on the council and what your priorities are. So again, I think both of you would also do an outstanding job on the council, and I appreciate the citizen involvement and the desire to be involved, and hope that you'll continue to be interested in serving the city and representing our community and our citizens.
Councilor Bond?
try the planning commission. I'm just going to tell you, you're going to learn a lot, even though most of them are just Airbnb stuff that come running through there. But every once in a while, you get that one thing. I actually knew about the demolition of the dam project from the planning commission. And there's a lot of things that in all of 15, 20 minutes that I've been sitting up here that are inside this packet for today's agenda that I have gone over in the planning commission. So, other than that, if I see you guys running against me, in November, hey, cool. Have fun with it. Don't make it anything more than it is. It's fun. I've done it enough.
Mayor and council, I just have something that's been kind of heavy on my heart the last couple of weeks. John Walsh, who was the city administrator for St. Helens, he tragically passed away about a week ago Saturday. He was it's a tragic boating accident in the Columbia River, and they were able to recover, finally, after a week, they were able to recover his body on Saturday. But it was just a freak accident, and of course, in my circle, I think there's only about 150 of us in the whole state. And so we have various means of all of us communicating and asking questions, and this has been heavy on the heart of a lot of administrators, and I'm sure his council as well. It's just a very tragic thing. So I just ask if everybody could please keep John and his family in your thoughts and prayers.
We definitely don't know what tomorrow holds. And with that, I will give my remarks, and that is that I very much anticipated running for election in this upcoming election, but God above had a different plan, and we are going to be leaving the state of Oregon and relocating to Washington. I made the decision to finish my term, so I will be here through January. When my term ends, my husband's already gone and started his new job, but I intend to keep the commitment that I made, and so I will be here through the end of the year and into the beginning of next year. So for those who apply today, for anybody who knows somebody that is willing to take on the role of mayor, I would encourage you to ask them to apply to serve their city. Knowing that the election will happen in November, I intend to make it my goal to help whoever would be elected to get up to speed and to help make connections. I've made a lot of connections across the state in my 3 years on council, and so had I known that this was going to occur whenever we appointed a council member, I would not have put myself out here. But as I've thought about it, we'll still have the consistency of Councilor Malmberg on the council through the end of his term, at least. I hope longer. But had it been the rest of that term, I wouldn't have stayed for 3 more years. But for the rest of this year and into next year, we're willing to make that sacrifice for me to stay here. So I've grown to really love this city and to learn a lot and to see the importance and the need of city government and elected officials who care deeply for their community and are willing to put in the hard work for the best interest of the community that they serve. So I appreciate the time that I've spent here and with our city staff. You guys have taught me a lot. So thank you to the citizens and to this council. And if there's nothing further, we'll adjourn at 7:07.